Howdy everyone, it's a Monday evening and I'm gonna make some dinner, and I've decided to make some chicken and rice with a cream of celery, and on the side I'm going to make some asparagus. So what I'm going to need is 2 large chicken breasts. These are boneless, skinless chicken breasts. You can debone and unskin them yourself. What I've done is I've cut them into these little strips. You can cut them as you wish. You could have them whole or butterfly them, or cut them like this, or cut them into little cubes. I've seasoned them with just some fresh ground black pepper. I will use some olive oil to start cooking them, and then I will add some cream of celery to add to the flavor. Also, I'm going to be using some of these sweet onions. These are like the green onions. They're a little bit bigger. They're called sweet onions. You can use green onions. You can use sweet onions. You can use a yellow, white, or red onion. Whichever onion you prefer, or if you don't like onions, just leave those out. And the onion, you will chop it up into small bits like that. You can basically cut them as you wish, but that's the idea with that. Garlic, I also need a large clove of garlic, and that I've also chopped up into little bits like that. Not very tiny, but they're also small enough to cook. Now, the asparagus, I'm going to prepare in a separate little pan with some butter or margarine and some lime. That's what I have a lime there for. So I've already cut up my lime. I have it ready. I've got my asparagus ready. I've cut off this hard tip off of all those asparagus, so they're ready to go. Got my rice ready. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this chicken and the rice, and I'm going to use about a cup of rice. So then that means I'm going to add 2 cups of water when I'm cooking this. So I'm going to get this all in the pan and get it going. Alright, so here I've got the chicken in a pan, and I've put about a tablespoon of olive oil, and I've added the rice. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to stir this around and get my rice toasted and a little bit fried in that olive oil along with the chicken. So the rice and the chicken will cook at the same time. And as you can see, I've got some chicken in the bottom. That's no big deal. Scrape it up. Move it around. Once I've got my rice toasted, and I'll know it's toasted because it gets a little bit translucent and it also gets a little bit brown. And then I added a cup of long grain white rice. You can use brown rice, you can use a wild rice, whichever rice you prefer. But for this particular method, I'm using long white grain rice. I'm going to add 2 cups of water because I use 1 cup of rice. So it's always double the liquid to the rice. And I just add that in and stir it around a little bit. Get those bottom parts to unstick, because those are the yummy parts. I've got another burner ready there. Going to put my asparagus. Got my pan hot also, but I stopped to do this, so I am taking a little pause on that one. Okay, so then I've got this here, and as you can see, the chicken's getting white. It's no longer pink like it was earlier. Now you can use chicken broth instead of water. Okay, now I'm going to cover this up and let this simmer for about 15-20 minutes till the rice is nice and fluffy and cooked. And I'm not going to stir it anymore. This is it. I'm just going to make sure it's all evenly spread out in my pan, and then I'm going to cover it. Okay, in this smaller pan, I've got the tablespoon of butter already melted, and I've thrown in the garlic, and I'm just going to toast it a little bit. I don't want it to burn, so I'm going to lower my temperature, make sure I have like a medium temperature on this. And then I'm going to add these, I'm going to wait on the little green onions. I'm going to add my asparagus in there and saute them in this little pan with the butter and the garlic. You could add some salt at this point, add some fresh ground pepper. The garlic smells so good with the butter in there. Okay, I'm going to lower this even more now, and I'm going to just kind of let this steam a little bit by adding some lemon juice to this. And these are Valley lemons. Your lemons will probably be either this green lemons, or you're going to be using the yellow lemons. It doesn't matter. You can use limes if you want. I'm going to squeeze in 2 lemons. Use a lemon squeezer, make it easier on yourself. should be done. Okay, so I'm going to squeeze this on here, and I'm going to lower my temperature and just let it steam away. Cover it with a little plate here because I don't have a lid for this pan. So I'm going to cover that up a little bit, let it steam away in a low heat. And then I'm going to add these green onions that I chopped up. Okay, to my rice, it's still cooking and steaming. I've added half a can of that cream of celery. I could add the whole thing, but I'm just going to add half a can of the cream of celery. And the cream of celery that I got is this healthy request. Let's see if it'll, well, it's not focusing, but it's a cream of celery from Campbell's, and it's a healthy request label on it. It means it's a heart healthy with 0 trans fats per serving, and also because it's low in sodium, I'm using that. And I'm adding the almonds, and the almonds is just basically as much as you desire to add in there. I think that's maybe at the most, maybe a 1/4 cup, maybe less. And I'm just going to gently kind of stir it in there. I don't want to mush my rice, so I'm just going to do this. And I'm only adding a little bit of that cream of celery because I really just want a little bit of the flavor in there. Okay, then I'm going to leave it alone and cover it. Make sure this is all evenly spread. I'm going to cover it and keep it cooking until the rice is nice and fluffy, tender. Okay, into my asparagus, which have sauteed and steamed up a little bit with the lemon juice. I'm now going to add this chopped green onion or sweet onion, depending on which onion you decide to use. Now, if you use a red or a white onion or a yellow onion, you might add it before and cook it down a little bit, render it, make it a little bit translucent before you do. But I wanted this green onion to look fresh and green over my asparagus, so I waited till it was almost practically done before I did that. I'm just going to stir it around a little bit. Get that garlicky butter to get on every little bit of it. And this is just going to take about another 5 minutes. Altogether, it took about 10 at the most. Alright, here we go. My chicken and rice with almonds and my asparagus with butter and lemon are done. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I've already taken a taste test of this. And the rice is nice and fluffy. The almonds give it a nice little crunch in there. And they happen to be the almonds that still have the, the little brown bark on them on the side. Little slivered almonds. They were delicious. Very nutty. The chicken is perfectly cooked. Of course, if you want to make this recipe, you can add salt or add some other items to this. You could change it up and make it your own. But this is what I've done. The asparagus is nice and tender and ready to be completely devoured. My husband is going to love this. The cream of celery that I added in there gives it a nice little bit of a tang, nice little flavor to the rice, and doesn't overpower it, so it's delicious. And it's heart healthy. If you have any ideas on how you would change this up or your own chicken, rice, almond, and asparagus recipe, please leave a link below if you have one. If not, just comment the differences and changes that you would make. Or if you liked the way that I made it, please like the video and also please subscribe to my channel and enjoy.